Assabet Valley Aztecs. This is Lou Cesario along with my camera and color man Fran Lambert on a crisp October 30th, the night before Halloween. And this shapes up to be a pretty good matchup tonight. Assabet comes in at 3-3 overall. They lost in Neshoba in their opener 28-0. Then lost to Bay Path 15-6, and then they came back to beat Worcester Volk 22-14, Monty Tech 35-14, knocked off Murdoch 40-21, and last week suffered a loss at the hands of Grafton 22-6. The Hawks on the other side of the ledger come in at 4-2, and they're 2-2 in the Division B mid-watch standings. They're all done with their Division B play. Only 5 teams in that division. Hudson finishes 2-2 in Division B. The Hawks coming off a thrilling 19-16 victory over Neshoba last week. Carlos Grasso leads the scoring parade for the Hawks with 6 touchdowns and 36 points. Derek Carroll has 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion for 20. Last year, between these two teams, not the first time they ever met, it was a Hudson victory in a rather easy game for the Hawks. They beat Assabet 26-8. This year should be a completely different story. Assabet much improved over last year, and Hudson not quite as good as the Super Bowl champs they were last year. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment.
Please rock for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome back. Just prior to the opening kickoff, homecoming night for the Hudson Hawks. They'll have a big homecoming dance and celebration at halftime where the king and queen and her court will be introduced. Assabet will kick off. Chris Parker will do the honors. And it'll squirt out of bounds around the 27-yard line of Hudson.
Kick rolls out of bounds at the 28 of the Hawks. The kicker will be done over.
A legal procedure, the call against the Aztecs. They'll step off 5 back to the 35-yard line and be forced to do it over again. Deep men for the Hawks. Mike Mulvaney's number 27, Derek Carroll number 25. And Parker kicks it off. It's a squib kick coming down the middle. Fielded and actually diving on the ball at the 33-yard line. It's number 38, John McChesney.
First and 10 at the 33 for the Hawks.
It's Josh Palmer, 38. Huh? No, it's McChesney. First call is to Mulvaney. He breaks the tackle and stumbles as he gets around the left side. Number 51 on the stop for the Aztecs is Andrew Quinn. See, it was
Second down and 6 for the Hawks.
Brother of Chuck? Andrew Quinn, a brother of Chuck Quinn on the Hudson side of the field. And there's a penalty flag as
Flag down on the play.
Carroll, I believe, got the carry. Brought it out to the 40, but there is a flag on the play. And the call is holding against Hudson. They picked up a little better than 2 yards on the carry. We'll see what the Aztecs elect to do. They're going to take the penalty. It would have brought up about a 3rd and 6. And now it'll be
Move the ball back to the 29.
2nd and 14.
2nd down and 14, Hudson.
Chuck Quinn comes out wide to the far side. Henderson wide to the near side. Quick pitch to Mulvaney. Steps inside one man. Trying to get outside, and he's not going to be able to do it. He gets bottled up after a short gain.
3rd down and long.
Quinn, once again, number 51 on the stop, and the Hawks come out of a quick huddle on 3rd and about 13. Quinn comes out wide to this side. Grassa running the option, cuts it up inside, and he's nailed after a short pickup.
Grassa on the keeper.
Chris Parker making the final hit after he was held up by number 88,
4th down.
Roberto Valentin. So it'll be 4th and 9 for the Hawks from their own 44. Actually, that's the 34, and they'll be forced to punt. Henderson to kick it away. Beautiful punt by Henderson. Drives Chris Parker all the way back to his own 25. Parker looking for running room and turns in a great run. Chris Parker. Tremendous return by Chris Parker with little or no blocking in front of him. Made 3 or 4 Hudson tacklers miss him. And he brings it all the way back to the Hudson 36-yard line.
36-yard line. 1st and 10, Assabet Valley.
Well, the punt nets 2 yards. It was a booming punt by Henderson. Chris Slavin, the quarterback. It's the pitch to Parker. Parker throwing the option pass. Looking deep, and it's going to be intercepted by Grassa. Pass intended for number 44, Angel Torres. Pass was underthrown, and Grassa almost had it tipped away by a defender back there. But the other defender couldn't quite get a handle on it. I couldn't see if it was Carroll or Mulvaney. And Grassa managed to make a tumbling interception, and the ball goes right back to the Hawks on the turnover. The Hawks are at their own 12-yard line, however. 1st and 10. Quinn goes in motion. And they give up the middle to Mulvaney. Gets good yardage out to the 20. Check that. It's Mark Cardillo, number 32, on the carry. Picks up close to 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and a long 2.
2nd down and 2. 2nd and 19.
Henderson out wide to the far side. Quinn goes in motion that way. Grassa pitching it to Carroll, Derek Carroll, breaking tackles, a big hit on the sideline, and picks up the 1st down. He was met by Ron Blood.
16 yards to Derek.
And also Roberto Valentin.
1st down and 10 for the Hawks. At the 36.
The 1st down carry by Carroll brings the ball out to the Hudson 36-yard line, 1st and 10. Carlos looking to run the option keeper, and he's going to be, ball came loose, but he was ruled down at the line of scrimmage, maybe even lost a yard as he tried to fake to the man through the left side and follow him through the hole, but the hole just wasn't there.
2nd down and 11.
The Aztecs closed it up quickly, and it's going to be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11 for Hudson at their own 35-yard line. Picking his way through, Derek Carroll up across his 40 to the 41-yard line, a gain of 6.
Pick out of 6 yards.
And that'll make it 3rd and 5.
Down and 6 for the Hawks.
Where's Patel? Oh, here he comes. I haven't seen him come out for a long time. Jignesh Patel, they call him Jig, comes in for Henderson, and he splits out wide to the far side. Torres goes out there in single coverage. 3rd and 6. The quick pitches to Carroll. Carroll turns the corner. Carroll out of bounds, close to the first down stake.
Carroll knocked out of bounds on the play by Andy Mitskovich.
Mitskovich on the tackle. And without even dragging the chains across the field, they signaled first down. It looked awfully close.
First down for the Hawks.
But Hudson is awarded the first down. They're at their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10. This is Carroll, Derek Carroll, for good yardage across midfield into Aztec territory. They'll spot him down at the 48-yard line.
Across midfield.
Gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
2nd down and 5 for the Hawks.
Oh, fumble, and the Aztecs have it.
On the play. That's the ball recovered.
I believe it was number 72, Joe Record, one of the quad captains for the Aztecs, as the handoff was not completed between Grosser and the back running through the line. The ball immediately squirted loose, not as the result of a hit. And the turnover cost the Hawks as the Aztecs will take over at their own 47-yard line. Slavin gives it to Parker, I believe. And Chris Parker gets good yardage into Hudson territory.
Derek Carroll on the tackle. 5-yard gain.
And they'll spot it at the Hudson 48-yard line. 2nd and a long 5 now for the Aztecs. Quick pitch to Parker.
Parker is wrapped up.
Picks up a couple off the right side.
3rd down and 3 for after down.
Jason Wardwell in on the stop. His name was called a lot last week in the Neshoba. Had 20 tackles in that game. Ball is marked at the Hudson 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 4. And as motion as the left guard, it appeared for the Aztecs, came across early.
Offside on Assabet. Third down and 8.
I believe it was number 71, Tony Paz, guilty of the illegal procedure. That'll cost Assabet 5 yards. Move the ball back to their own 49-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and about 8. Slavin back to pass, has it completed, good for the first down, skipping, breaking tackles, he may go all the way. Chris Despotopoulos caught a pass in the flat and jumped over the man who tried to tackle him after he had picked up the first down, broke a couple of more tackles, and went down the sidelines for the touchdown. And Assabet takes a quick 6-0 lead. excitement here in the first 6 minutes of this ball game. We've had a couple of turnovers, a good punt return, and then that little pass and a great run by Despotopoulos. Slavin looking to go for two. He's looking in the end zone for somebody to throw to, but they were all well covered, and he was forced to keep it himself, and he comes up well shy of the conversion. So the score will remain Assabet Valley 6 and Hudson nothing.
3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Chris Barker ready to tee it up, and now he puts the ball down lengthwise on the tee, so they're a little bit leery of kicking the ball deep to Carroll and Mulvaney, and they're going to be squib kicking once again here. And the Hawks had trouble once again picking that ball up.
Kickoff recovered there, again by John McChesney.
John McChesney once again
Over first and 10.
falling on it at the Hudson 30-yard line. Tried to pick it up while he was still on his feet, and he mishandled the ball, and with the Aztecs bearing down on him, made the wise decision to just fall on it and maintain possession for the Hawks. They have it first and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Quick pitches to Mulvaney, and Mike Mulvaney breaking tackles, almost broke it.
Mulvaney, a big game for the Hawks.
Just tripping him up was Despotopoulos.
Pickup of 11, first down.
11-yard gain out to the 41-yard line, and a first down for Hudson. As Patel comes in for the Hawks with a play from the bench. And head coach Vic Rimkus in his 35th year at the helm of Hudson High. Patel splits out wide to the far side, and in between is Chuck Quinn. And the give
Cardillo on the
is to Cardillo.
Pick up 4 yards.
Gets it up just across his own 45-yard line. A 4-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 6. Oh, huge hit.
Mike Mulvaney is over.
Mulvaney buried his
40.
number 40, filled the hole. Ron Blood. There was no hole there when Mulvaney got there, and he was pounded hard by Ron Blood. You could hear the pop all the way up here in the press box. It's a loss of 2. It'll be 3rd and 8 now for Hudson. Grassa back to pass, looking, being flushed out of the pocket, trying to get away. And now finds running room around the right side, looking for the first down. Carlos stretches, and he thinks he has it.
Carlos Grassa on a big scrambler.
I think he may have picked up the first down by a yard or so, maybe less than that. Official signals first down.
First down.
So Carlos Grassa showing his scrambling ability, rolling to his left, finding no one open, avoided a couple of would-be tacklers and found running room around the right side and stretched and banged and broke a couple of tackles for the first down. The ball at the 48-yard line of Assabet. And a mix-up in the backfield as Mulvaney ran into his own
Mulvaney is wrapped up.
man who was blocking for him, and a couple of flags are thrown. The personal foul being called against Assabet
Against Assabet.
for not holding up after the whistle had blown. They just rudely threw Mulvaney to the ground after the whistle, and the officials, 2 flags came out. Not a rather marginal call at best, but the Hawk fans will take it. And that'll cost Assabet 15 big ones and give the Hawks an automatic first down inside the Assabet 40. Assabet leads it 6-0 with less than a minute to go in the first period. Carlos running the option, keeps it, straight arms a man, but he managed to get the pitch away. Never even saw it as he was in the arms of Roberto Valentin and managed to pitch it as he was going down to Mike Mulvaney, and Mulvaney added on a couple of extra yards down to the 34-yard line. He'll be second and a long 4. Cardillo off the left guard picks up the first down inside the Assabet 30. Good blocking by the left-hand side of the Hudson line.
First down for Hudson. Down to the Assabet 28-yard line.
Sean McGordy, Sean Flood over on that side. And this is Mulvaney. Stood up after a couple by Mitskovich.
Mitskovich on the tackle for Assabet.
And on that play, we have an injured Aztec, and also that's an injured Hawk rather, and no time left on the clock. The first period comes to an end. We have a Hudson player down on the field, and after one period of play, it's the Assabet Valley Aztec 6 and the Hudson. Second period about to begin. The injured Hawk, Mark Cardillo. He's on the sideline. He's got a banged up knee. Wall comes in for him. Grassa back to pass, looking long, has a man wide open. Touchdown, Chuck Quinn. 26 yards. Grassa to Quinn at the 1-yard line. He was wide open. And for Chuck Quinn, his first touchdown of the year. For Carlos, that's his third touchdown pass. And that ties the score at 6-6 on the first play of the second period. Henderson will attempt to add the extra point, and there are flags on the play as Brian Henderson's boot went sailing way back to the wall behind the goalposts.
Offside called on the Hawks. Hawks will have to try again.
And the Hawks are guilty of the offside penalty, and they'll move back 5 yards to the 8. But the way Henderson kicked that last one, that extra 5 yards shouldn't be any problem. It's just keeping it on line. Distance shouldn't be a problem. And this kick is tipped, blocked, no good. The ball is live in the end zone, the official blowing it dead.
Hudson 6, Assabet 6.
And the score will remain Hudson 6 and Assabet 6. So the Hawks ready to kick it away. They'll use number 2, Pedro Botello. The Hawks had the last 2 kicks last week against Neshoba blocked, and their first one here. That's 3 blocked extra points in a row for the Hawks, and those extra points can come back to haunt you. Fumble! Ball is loose.
Assabet Valley recovers. First down and 10.
Roberto Valentin on the ground when he tried to field the ball, and he couldn't get a handle on it until the very last minute, and Hawks were diving for it, but Valentin came up with it to maintain possession. for the Aztecs, and they'll start just outside their own 35-yard line. The quick pitch is to Torres, and rather Despotopoulos uses that jumping running style. He jumped over a defender on his touchdown run after the reception. There is someone down on the Assabet side after that short gainer of 2 yards. Officials have called the timeout, and we'll be right back. I believe it was Mickovic, the injured athlete for the Aztecs. A fumble in the backfield. Ball is loose. Look, Slavin might have recovered it.
Fumble by Assabet. Chris Slavin.
And Slavin did manage to
loss of about 3 on the play.
Get the ball
11 for Assabet
back. It's a loss of 3. It's going to be 3rd and 11 now for Assabet from their own 34. Check that. It was Despotopoulos, the injured player, as Mickovic is back in the game. Mickovic. Slavin back to pass, looking across the middle, intending it for Valentin, number 88. It was well covered. The ball was overthrown slightly anyway. The only way that Valentin could have had it uncontested is he seems to be taller than most of the defensive backs. But that'll bring up a 4th and 11 now for the Aztecs from their 34-yard line.
Derek Carroll back deep for the Hawks.
Carroll is the deep man. Mulvaney the up man at the 50. And Mickovic will punt it away. Good snap. No pressure. Nice punt. Carroll sidesteps one man at the 30. Carroll. A wall of block is forming over the side. Carroll. Mickovic with a shot at him. No, the block comes. Derek Carroll could go all the way. Touchdown. There are no flags on the field. Couple of men had a shot at him down at the end here. Mickovic and Valentin, but the Hudson blockers, Wardwell, one of them, took care of him. And Carroll with about an 80-yard punt return. Man right on him when he caught the ball. He sidestepped him, and the wall formed beautifully on the near sideline, and Carroll went untouched thanks to the blocking. And the Hawks claim a 12-6 lead. This time they'll line up to go for 2 out of the full house backfield. Carlos looking to pass, throwing in out of the end zone, intended for either Mulvaney or DeBarker. Both were out there, but the pass was wide of the end zone, and the extra point conversion fails. And the Hawks lead it by a score of 12-6 with just over 8 minutes to go here in the first half.
Keep our fingers crossed.
Here we go.
Hawks ready to put the ball in play as the ambulance flashing in front of us here, as Mark Cardillo will be taken to the hospital for preliminary x-rays, I imagine. Valentin handles it cleanly this time. The Botello kick, steps around one man and another. Valentin still on his feet, looking to get outside, and finally dragged down from behind by Brian Henderson. A lot of running and a lot of breaking of tackles for about a 7-yard return, but it was exciting. It looked like he had the left side, the far side of the field open if he could only find his way out there. But he manages to bring it back to the 46-yard line. The Hawks have missed the conversions on their last 4 touchdowns, the last 2 last week and their first 2 here, and those conversions can come back to haunt you. The quick completion to Torres.
Pass is complete.
Torres lined up to the wide side, and 1 step back, and the alley-oop type pass thrown by Slavin right between 2 defenders.
He gets down to the Hawks 37 yards.
And it is complete. He was hit immediately. But Slavin threaded the ball in there perfectly, and the ball is moved all the way down to the Hudson 37-yard line. 1st and 10 Aztecs. They trail by 6. Slavin gives it to Parker. Parker runs hard, breaks tackles at the line of scrimmage, and manages to fight close to the 30-yard line. Pickup of about 7 yards. It'll bring up a 2nd and 3.
2nd down and a long 3 for Assabet.
I want Carlos on a sweep the next time. Pitch to Mulvaney or Carroll. 2nd and 3 from just outside the Hudson 30. Slavin back to pass again, and it's going to be picked off. Derek Carroll. There's a flag down where Carroll was tackled, but it may be just the official marking the ball, but I'm not sure. It's definitely a flag. It's not a marking of the ball. Carroll brought it back about 10 yards. Derek Carroll coming up with yet another interception. I don't keep track of those.
Holding on the Hawks. Hawks still retain possession, however.
Holding call on the Hawks on the run back. That'll cost them 10 yards. But the interception will stand. Carroll's got at least 2, might have 3 interceptions.
And at the row 19-yard line.
Remember a big one in the first game against Clinton when Clinton was threatening in the waning moments of the ball game to tie it up. So Hudson will go 1st and 10 from inside their own 20-yard line. And a good fake to wall up the middle, and Carroll tries the right side. He gets short yardage. Get out to his own 22-yard line. Pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Henderson comes out. Patel goes in with the play. Jerry Pastner, longtime head coach of the Aztecs on the far sidelines. In his 2nd Valley Classic, the late pitch is to Carroll. Carroll finds running room to the outside. What a cutback! Cut back behind 3 would-be tacklers and picked up another 5 yards and the 1st down. As the Aztecs closed on that in a hurry, and Carroll cut it back just right. Out across his own 32-yard line, maybe just shy of the 33, 1st and 10 Hudson. Both teams with their full complement of 5 timeouts remaining in the half as we go into 6 minutes to go. Hudson holding the 12-6 lead, coming back from a 6-0 deficit. Carroll, and a saving tackle made by Torres as Carroll gets out to the 40-yard line. Gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Picking up 7 yards on the carry. 2nd down and 3 yards for the Hawks.
Patel splits out wide to the far side. Quinn goes in motion that way. Carlos with the late pitch to Mulvaney. Mulvaney with a man to beat, gets around the corner. And he's tripped up by Blood. But Mulvaney picks up about 10 yards on the carry. Well more than he needed for the 1st down, and the Hawks have it at their own 48, 1st and 10. As the messenger wide receivers, Henderson and Patel, shuttle in plays from the Hudson side. rush. Grassa looking down the middle, has DeBarker, and it's tipped away at the last minute. The last second, rather, by Ron Blood. DeBarker got a hand on it, but Blood also had a hand in there, and it goes incomplete. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for the Hawks at their own 48. Clock stopped with 4.5 minutes to go. And Lee Wall gets the carry. Picks up 3 or 4 tough yards up the middle, behind the blocking of Cuna and Flood.
3rd down and 7 for the Hawks.
The Hawks move into Aztec territory at the 49. It'll bring up 3rd and 7. Henderson comes out wide to the near side. Quinn comes in motion. Grassa, the quick look in, intending it for DeBarker. Led him a little bit too much, and it was incomplete. Coverage by Blood.
Incomplete.
And that'll bring up a 4th and 7 from the Aztec 49-yard line, and the Hawks will send in the punt team. Next week, the Hawks will be on the road a week from tomorrow over in Northborough to take on the Division I Algonquin Tomahawks, Midwatch Division A team. Having a tough year so far this year. They're 1-4-1. Good snap for Henderson. Henderson gets off a fine boot. Fielded by Parker. Parker breaks 1 and 2, and then the swarming Hudson punt coverage team collapses on him.
Chris Parker gets a few yards on the return.
They'll mark Parker down at his own 22, closer to the 23-yard line. 1st and 10, Assabet. 3:38 to go in the first half. Hudson leading at 12-6. That's right. Just been word passed on to me that Coach Rimkus, his 35th year as head coach of Hudson I, will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow on Halloween. So happy birthday to Coach Rimkus. Parker just refusing to go down after numerous hits. Picks up about 2 yards. Little more than 2.
3 yards in the play. 2nd down and 7.
Ball is at the Aztec 26-yard line. 2nd and 7. Slavin with that alley-oop pass intended again for Torres. This time he led him too far. Derek Carroll on the coverage.
Pass is incomplete by Chris Parker.
Incompletion will set up a 3rd and 7 now for Assabet.
3rd down and 7 for the Aztecs.
A big play here for the Hawk defense. So they'll try to hold Assabet on 3rd and 7. And there's movement in the Hudson line, and a flag is thrown. And the pass is complete to Valentin. He has the 1st down. We'll have to wait for the flag. The Hawks look like they came offside. I'm not sure if contact was made. But if they were caught offside when the ball was snapped, and that seems to be the case, the Hawks are guilty of the offside. The offside would be just 5 yards and would bring up 3rd and 2 for Assabet. I think they'll refuse this because Valentin picked up the 1st down on the completion. And, of course, that's what they do, and Assabet keeps their drive alive.
1st down and 10 for Assabet Valley.
They're out at their own 34-yard line.
The 34-yard line.
So now Assabet's looking at the clock, which is running under two and a half minutes to go here. They have all 5 of their timeouts remaining. Give is to Parker, and Parker running hard right off the right side, dragging tacklers behind him. Wall on the stop along with
5.
Matt Burke.
Make that 8.
The gain of about 7.
6, 8.
Second down and
I can have 2 real fast. It's a math.
Ball at the Aztec 42-yard line. Second and a short 3. Slavin looking to set up, throwing long, intending for, and broken up at the last minute. Intending it for Despotopoulos, and Mike Mulvaney come flying across and dove to knock the pass down, and he gets a congratulatory good sportsman slap from Despotopoulos as they exchange low 5s. Despotopoulos congratulating Mulvaney on the good play. Nice to see that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Bring up third and the short 3 for the Aztecs at their own 42-yard line. Clock stopped with 1:36 to go in the half. And as motion in the backfield, getting off early was Ron Blood, number 40. Illegal motion is the call against Assabet.
3rd and 8.
That'll back them up to the 37-yard line, which will bring up a 3rd and 8. And Chris Slavin checks into the huddle with a play from the bench. Don't be surprised if you see Parker involved in this play. Slavin running, now looking, throwing, and overthrowing his intended receiver. I believe it was Ron Blood, though the pass wasn't really close to him. It's almost like Slavin threw that away because of the good coverage. Rolling left and throwing right is not an easy thing to do. It'll bring up a 4th and about 8 for the Aztecs from their own 37-yard line, and Hudson sends Derek Carroll back deep, just coming off an 80-yard punt return for a touchdown. And another good punt. Carroll fields it at his own 30. Carroll running up the right side as another wall of blockers. Derek Carroll breaks a tackle and gets inside the 40 before he goes out of bounds at the Aztec 39-yard line. The Hudson punt team setting up beautifully the last 2 punt returns. This one a run back right, the other one a run back left that went for the touchdown.
Assabet Valley 37-yard line.
They'll spot it at the Assabet 38. 1st and 10 Hudson. They have their 5 timeouts remaining with 1:15 left on the clock. They lead 12-6. Grassa, the quick pitch back to Mulvaney. Mulvaney finds a hole and drags tacklers with him down to the 31-yard line.
Tackled there by
Greg Nelson, number 2, hopping on Mike's back. Mike carrying him for a few yards before he finally goes down. And the Hawks will call a timeout. That's when we come back. Okay, the Hawks looking at a 2nd and 3 now from the Assabet 31-yard line. Grassa back to pass under a heavy rush, steps up into the pocket, gets away, looking for the corner, and squirts away from number 28 and picks up a couple of more yards.
First down for the Hawks.
That's Chris Parker. I don't know why I said number 28.
84-yard line.
I should know his name by now. And Carlos picks up the first down on the scramble. And Hudson will call their second timeout. They have 3 remaining, and we have 55 seconds left to go in the first half. Hudson, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Quick pitches to Mulvaney. Mulvaney grabbed in the backfield and dropped by Greg Nelson. Nelson shooting in and throwing Mulvaney for the loss. Back out to the 30-yard line, and the Hawks will call another timeout. They have 2 remaining, and there's 44 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. Second and 15 now for the Hawks. Carlos rolling out is under pressure, and he's going to be dragged down. But no gain. The Hawks quickly call another timeout. They have 1 remaining. Couldn't tell if that was a sprint out pass play or if Carlos intended to keep it and run behind that blocking. He never really got a chance to see it as a man got a hold of his shirt and spun him around. There are 35 remaining. 3rd and 15 for the Hawks from just outside the Assabet 30-yard line. It's a running play. Mulvaney looking for the first down yardage, comes up short at the 20, and the Hawks quickly call their final timeout.
Pickup of about 10 yards.
There's 27 seconds left. Mulvaney picked up about 10 yards. It'll be 4th and 5 now for Hudson, and they have no timeouts remaining. So the Hawks looking at 4th and 5 from just outside the Aztec 20-yard line. Big play here for the Aztecs, because if they can hold Hudson, be sure they're going to call a timeout. They've got 5 remaining, and there's some time on the clock. There's a quick pitch to Mulvaney. Mulvaney looking to get outside. Mulvaney close to the first down marker. They're going to mark him out, I believe, past the marker, and I believe the Hawks have the first down.
He picks up the first down on the play.
And he stops the clock by going out of bounds. Well, the quick pitch to Mike Mulvaney brings the Hawks down to the Aztec 14-yard line with 20 seconds remaining. The Hawks out of timeouts. 1st and 10 at the Aztec 14. Grassa back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, is flushed out. Now trying to complete it to Wall. Tipped away by Chris Parker.
Is deflected by Chris Parker.
Clock stops on the incompletion. 14 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10 for Hudson from the 14-yard line. For the Hawks to put it up again or to run a sweep and try to get out of bounds if they can't get into the end zone. Grassa under a heavy rush, way back to the 30. Now looking, now trying to avoid another man, and he may not be able to do it. Finally throws it away. It's blocked. I believe he was an incomplete pass because he swung his arm around in an effort to throw that ball, but why there isn't an intentional grounding call, no flags on the play. Time runs out on that play, however, as Grassa scrambled around in the backfield, was going to be dropped back at the 40 as time ran out, and he just flung the ball away. It bounced off a defender and fell to the ground. Incomplete. They rule it not intentional grounding. And the half comes to an end. Mulvaney kicks it off. Parker at his own 20. Looking to run it right up the gut, and Parker does a good job. Gets it up to his own 45-yard line. Lee Wall on the stop. Also right there, Jason Wardwell.
First down and 10.
And Parker, for the most part, has been bottled up pretty well by the Hudson defense, but he could explode at any moment. First and 10, Assabet from their own 45. Slavin gives it to
back in the game.
Mickiewicz, I believe, was the ball carrier.
2 yards on the play.
It was Mickiewicz, Andy Mickiewicz. Andy Mickiewicz, I'm going to keep on pronouncing it wrong. Picked up better than 2 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 8. Slavin to Mickiewicz once again, and he picks up good yardage into Hudson territory. Down to the 48-yard line. It'll be short of the first down by 3 yards.
4 yards on the play.
So they'll be 3rd and 3 from the Hudson 48.
3rd down and 3.
Assabet opened the scoring on a 46-yard pass completion from Slavin to Despotopoulos. The rush for the 2-point conversion failed. Assabet led 6-0 after 1. As Slavin calls him out here on a 3rd and 3 from the Hudson 48-yard line. It's a quick pitch back to number 73, I think by design.
An old-fashioned snap there.
Norman Fregon.
Loss of about 3 for Assabet.
Couldn't handle the snap. Number 73 lined up in the backfield, and a quick snap to him was mishandled. It's a loss back to the Assabet side of the 50-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th and 6, and Assabet will be forced to punt it away. They shift into punt formation, evidently scouting the Hawks, who are offside a couple of times against Westboro. Those same kind of plays. This is Carroll inside his own 20. Derek Carroll sneaks up another man. Another wild wall forming for Derek Carroll. Carroll cuts it into the middle. Derek Carroll, one man to beat. He could be gone. He is Derek Carroll. Another punt return for a touchdown. 81 yards for Derek Carroll. And a couple of men to beat around the Hudson 40, and he cut it back, and it was a wide open hole through the middle, and he outran Valentin, number 88. Just managed to get by his grasp and goes 81 yards for the touchdown, and Hudson quickly leads 18-6. The first time they touched the ball here in the second half. The punt return team for the Hawks has been on fire all night. Great blocking. And I believe the Aztecs have called timeout. Not sure whether the Aztecs call that timeout or the Hawks. The Hawks will line up to go for 2 with Wall and Carroll in the backfield along with Grassa. Grassa, quick pitch to Carroll. Carroll looking for the end zone. Comes up short, but there's a flag on the play. Carlos just barely turned around and he was nailed. And we'll see if somebody was offside here. No, it's a holding call going against the Hawks. It's going to be refused. The rush for the conversion points fails. And for the 5th time in a row, the Hawks have failed to add on any conversion points to their touchdowns. 2 against the last week against Neshoba. Their last 2 touchdowns had no conversions added on, and all 3 of their touchdowns this game tonight have not been followed by any conversion points. So the score remains Hudson 18 and Assabet 6. Mulvaney to kick it off for the Hawks. For Derek Carroll, he's got his 4th and 5th touchdowns of the year tonight. Little squib kick being fielded by number 40, Ron Blood. Short run back out to the 36-yard line. And the Aztecs will take over at their own 36. Derek Carroll, 2 long punt returns for touchdowns. 5 touchdowns on the year. You may remember last year's Super Bowl game, he had a long one for a touchdown that was call back for a clip. Quick look in, intending it, and picked off. Vasescus. Ball intended for Valentin. He missed it. Thought it was incomplete, but Vasescus picked it off, and the Hawks take over at the Assabet 38-yard line. The second interception for the Hawks tonight. Derek Carroll, Mr. Everything tonight, had one earlier in the ball game. Well, the Hawks looking to capitalize on the turnover. They lead it by 12. And the give is to Wall, up the middle. Wall fighting for yardage. Got maybe a yard before he's finally pushed down. Joe Record, number 72, leading the charge for the Aztecs, along with number 44, Angel Torres. They'll mark him for a little or no gain. They'll give him about a half a yard. We'll still call it 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 9 for the Hawks.
Patel splits out wide to the far side. Torres goes out to cover him. Quinn goes in motion. Second man through is Derek Carroll, breaking a tackle and gets across the 35 down to about the 33-yard line.
Derek Carroll on the carry.
Chris Parker on the stop, along with number 51, Andrew Quinn.
3rd down and 5 for the Hawks.
Ball at the Aztec 34-yard line, 3rd and 5. This time Quinn splits out wide to the far side. Henderson to the near side. Eye backfield. Grassa follows Wall through the hole, looking for the first down, breaks a tackle and has the first down.
Grassa on the keeper with a few nice moves.
Mitskovich on the tackle.
1st and 10 for the Hawks.
But Carlos has the first down inside the 25-yard line at the Aztec 23. Patel and Quinn split out wide left and wide right, respectively. Grassa with the late pitch to Carroll. Derek Carroll, stiff arms one man, breaks another tackle. Carroll, touchdown! For Derek Carroll, his 3rd touchdown of the ball game. This one from 23 yards out on the option pitch from Carlos Grassa. On a little hole, squeezed through it, and a couple of hands were laid on him, but that was about it as he went in from 23 yards out to increase the score to Hudson 24 and the Aztec 6. And the Hawks will look to add the extra point kick. They're unsuccessful in 5 in a row here. Quinn with the hold, Henderson with the boot. The kick is up. And Henderson calls it good himself before the officials agree. And the Hawks finally tack on an extra point to the touchdown. And Hudson leads at 25-6 with just about 5.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd period. Patello's kick fielded by number 86 for the Aztecs. That's Rodolfo Soto. It was Dan Catrabone on the stop. Tony Paz makes the touchdown-saving tackle for the Aztecs as Derek Carroll has his 2nd interception of the night. He's got 3 touchdowns already, 2 on long punt returns, 80 yards in that neighborhood.
22-yard line.
Just moments ago scored in a 23-yard option pitch. The Hawks right now making a statement here in the second half. They've put up 2 quick scores, and there's still 4.5 minutes to go in the third period. As the Aztecs get hurt by the turnover once again. This is Mike Mulvaney, hard running. He looks like he has another first down as he's close to the 10-yard line, and a flag thrown late. Following that play, and I believe the call is holding against Hudson. So that'll wipe out the long gainer by Mulvaney. And the hold occurred right there at the end of the play.
Holding is called against the Hawks.
So it doesn't hurt the Hawks as much as a holding call at the line. It stepped off from the point of the infraction. It'll move the ball back to the Aztec 24-yard line and bring up a 1st and 13 for Hudson. Quinn goes in motion, and flag is thrown before the play can get underway. Officials blow it dead.
Another penalty flag down on the play.
And it's illegal.
Offside, Hudson.
The legal procedure against the Hawks is going to cost him another 5 back out to the Aztec 29-yard line. And now it'll be 1st and 18. So the Hawks moving in the wrong direction the last 2 plays via the penalty route. Quick pitch to Mulvaney. Mulvaney down the sidelines and out of bounds inside the 20.
Mulvaney for a pickup of 9 yards in the play.
They bring it in to the near far hash mark. It's marked at the 19-yard line. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 7. An 11-yard pickup of Mulvaney, a hard-running halfback for the Hawks, and hard hitting from his defensive halfback position. If you'd had 11 Mike Mulvaney, you should have a pretty good team. Mulvaney once again. Mulvaney head down to the 15-yard line. Tony Paz on the stop. Paz comes out, and Greg Nelson checks into the Aztec defensive alignment. 3rd and 4 now for the Hawks. Ball at the Aztec 16. Grosser on the late pitch to Mulvaney. Mulvaney reversing his field, picks up some blocking. Mike Mulvaney, touchdown! And a late flag thrown after Mulvaney crossed the goal line. A flag thrown around the 10-yard line from a long distance away. Official heaved that one. Grosser all wrapped up, and it's going to be a holding call against the Hawks. Grosser was all wrapped up on that one and just threw this pop fly back to Mulvaney, who had to wait for it to come down, then saw that he was going to get creamed if he went around the right way, the way the play was designed. So he reversed his field and went all the way for the touchdown, but it's going to be called back because of the holding. The Hawks victimized by 2 holdings and an illegal procedure call here on this drive as they try to capitalize on Derek Carroll's interception. They're now looking at 3rd and a little over 10. Grosser Completing it to Chuck Quinn inside the 10-yard line. He has the first down. Down at the 9.
Pass complete to Chucky Quinn. That's enough for a first down for the Hawks. Hawks drive inside the 10-yard line. First and goal.
The Hawks mixing it up well here. Featuring the running of Mulvaney and Carroll. Gross also doing his part. Pass to Chuck Quinn there for the first down at the 9. First and goal, Hudson. Grassa running, now reversing his field. Cuts back inside, gets inside the 5, down close to the 2.
Grassa on the keeper.
And do we have a fumble?
Like there's a fumble on the play.
We did not see the ball come loose, but the Aztecs were cheering about it, and I believe there's a fumble. Fumble at the Assabet 2-yard line, and the Aztecs dodge the bullet here. Will take over at their 2. But they trail by 19, 25-6, and they've got 98 yards of real estate in front of them. Plenty of time left in this ball game, though. Just under 2.5 minutes to go in the third period. Slavin on the give, right up the middle.
Miskovich on the carry for Assabet. Pick up a ball to nothing. Maybe 2. Second and 8.
Andy Mitskovich on the carry. Cut it out to the 4-yard line. The second and a long 8. Torres comes out wide to the near side. Despotopoulos in the slot. Slavin with the pitch to Parker. Parker trying to get outside. Cuts it inside and a fine open field tackle by Derek Carroll.
Brought down by Derek Carroll. There he is again.
Talk about your homecoming Kings, man.
Yeah. Pick up a 4-yard.
He's been everywhere tonight.
Down 5.
He's taken over the scoring leadership for the Hawks. He now has 38 points on the season. Carlos Grassa came in with 6 touchdowns for 36. Carlos has had a touchdown pass, though, to Chuck Quinn. Third down and 5 now for the Aztecs. And another pitch to Parker, and Parker wrapped up immediately by DeBarker. He breaks that tackle, but the Hudson pursuit catches up with him. And the Aztecs will be short of the first down by a considerable amount. They mark it for no gain. It'll be 4th and 5 from their own 8-yard line. Mitskovich 5 yards deep in his own end zone. And that man, Derek Carroll, out near the 38-yard line. And this kick will be bouncing around, picked up by Carroll on a hop at the 42. Carroll reverses his field. Carroll hemmed in. Carroll looking for the sidelines. Derek Carroll still on his feet. Down inside the Aztec 20.
Back, Derek Carroll. Another 20 yards.
Just uses that stutter move to perfection and leaves people standing there.
And that's the end of the third.
And on that play, the third period comes to an end, and the Hawks explode for 2 touchdowns by Derek Carroll, one on an 81-yard punt return to take a commanding 25-6 lead after 3. The Hawks open the 4th and final period with great field position at the Aztec 18-yard line. Into the teacher. Teacher Zanzanika on a misdirection play. I couldn't tell who had that ball. 18 yards up the gut for a touchdown. His first touchdown.
Hawks 31. Assabet Valley 6.
And that ups the count to 31-6 in favor of the Hawks. Ticha Zanjanika, just a junior. Fullback, 5'11", 165. And Botello will line up for the extra point kick. Out of the hole to Quinn. The kick is up, and it is good. And the first points of the year in his career also, Pedro Botello. And that'll make it Hudson 32 and Assabet 6. Just into the fourth period here.
Apparently a fan club up here.
Botello to kick it off for the Hawks as they add the extra point kick. That's 2 consecutive after missing 5 in a row. For the Hawks, they've had 3 different people kicking extra points this year. Mike Mulvaney is 2 of 3. Henderson is 5 of 9 with three blocks. And now Botello 1 for 1. That ball just lands outside and goes out of bounds. Inside the 25-yard line. It'll be a procedure penalty call against Hudson. They'll have to kick it over.
It rolls out of bounds. 24. Hazel will try it again.
The Hawks with 5 touchdowns tonight have 18 touchdowns on the year. And they have only 1 2-point conversion in all those 18 touchdowns. They have 8 1-pointers. So they're 500 on conversions to the year. 8 1-point conversions, a 2-point conversion, 9 conversions on 18 touchdowns. This time from the 35-yard line. Mulvaney will kick it off. Or is it Botello? No, Botello will kick it off. Chris Parker at his own 25-yard line. The reverse to Mickovic. Mickovic. Good run back. Cut down as he gets across the 45-yard line by McChesney, I believe. John McChesney.
Run back number 34 for Assabet Valley.
So the Aztecs will have good field position to start this drive from their own 46-yard line. Better than 9.5 minutes to go in the ball game. But they're on the short end of a 32-6 score right now.
New quarterback for Assabet Valley.
Well, Slavin comes out.
Roger's brother, Rick Clemens.
Rick Clemens, sophomore, number 12, will direct the attack for the Aztecs, and he slips it to number 45, who turns the corner and gets out of bounds, brought down by Vasescus. Ball carrier Dan Winchester.
Dan Winchester on the carry.
We have the whole second unit for the Aztecs is in there, along with most of second unit for the Hawks on defense, and now they're substituting the rest of the starters. So we'll have second unit against second unit on both sides of the ball here, probably for the remainder of this ball game, as it's gotten out of hand. 32-6, the Hawks leading. 2nd and 3, and I believe it's Winchester getting the call. Once again, he's very close to the first down.
On the carry once again.
They'll spot him. It appears just shy.
Pick up
We'll wait till get an official signal. Nope, they're going to call it third, and about 6 inches to go for the first down. And now Jason Wardwell comes out. I didn't realize he was still out there. Wall is still out there at one of the linebacker, defensive end. Picking up the first down is the quarterback, Clemens.
Clemens for the first down for Assabet Valley.
Josh Palmer, number 38 on the stop.
It's number 38. And that's what it says according to the program.
Don't believe that's Josh Palmer. There is a 38 out there, and that's what it says in the program, but I've been informed that is not Josh. Winchester trying to sweep is bottled up by the heavy rush by the Hawks.
Once again for Assabet.
Leading the charge for Hudson, number 68, Eddie Lee.
Timeout, Assabet Valley.
And Assabet will call a timeout.
38. Yeah, 38.
Officials calling a timeout here as one of them was stuck on the far sideline. Looks like he's getting some tape or something. Assabet looking at second and about 10 from the Hudson 38-yard line. Winchester gets the call. Winchester has the first down. Winchester down the sidelines. Winchester, touchdown.
Winchester, Assabet Valley, the bright spot.
38-yard run for Dan Winchester. Some debris around the 30-yard line on the far side. They don't look like flags, though. So the score will stand on the 38-yard run by Dan Winchester, making it 32-12 in favor of Hudson. And they will line up to go for two. Double wide receivers, one left, one right. Clemens quarterback sneak right up the middle, touchdown. Rather, the conversion is good. From 3 yards out, the 2-point conversion is good, and that'll increase the score for Assabet to 14. The Hawks have 32. And there's still Chris Parker to boot it away from the Aztec 40. We'll be looking into some onside kick stuff here. It's the first one they've actually booted away. It's Patel at his own 17-yard line. Jig Patel. Jig finally wrapped up as he crosses the 30. They'll mark him at the 31-yard line. It's a 14-yard return.
Hawks take over from their own 31, 1st and 10.
Mark it closer to the 32-yard line, a 15-yard return. 1st and 10, Hudson. And both teams still going with second units. And a flag thrown before that play can get underway.
Flag down on the play.
Matt Burke quarterbacking now for the Hawks. An illegal procedure. The call against the Hawks, that'll cost him 5, back to their 27-yard line.
Yep, 72.
First and 15, Hudson from their own 27-yard line. And Burke, hard hit. John McChesney, the ball carrier, gets it out to the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 11, a 4-yard pickup.
It's 9 o'clock now.
Zunzanika. And Teach brings it out close to the 40. Short of the first down by a couple. They'll mark it at the 39-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 2.
3rd down and 2.
Ron Melvin out wide to the near side. And picking up the first down, Zunzanika.
Zunzanika on the carry.
Out to the 45-yard line.
Good, strong showing by the young man. Pick up a 5, 1st down and 10 for the Hawks at the 45.
Remind you once again, a week from tomorrow, 1:30 game time over in Northborough. The Hawks will take on the Tomahawks of Algonquin. And 2 weeks from tonight, they'll be back home against Westford Academy. McChesney, the ball carrier.
No, it wasn't. It was 38.
Wrapped down at the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10.
But he's been wearing 36 all night long. And this is my score sheet. Ed Davis, he has 66. It's going to be McChesney.
No gain, 2nd and 10 now for Hudson from their own 45.
Jason Gould is 66. He switched numbers.
Zunzanika picks up a couple out to the 47-yard line.
Down by Joe Smith.
He had been working on 44.
Pick up of 2, 3rd down and 8 for the Hawks.
Third and 8 for Hudson from their own 47-yard line. And Burke rolling to his left, throwing wide open. Teach Zunzanika with the first down inside the Aztec 40-yard line. Rudolfo Soto on the stop for the Aztecs. And Zunzanika looking pretty good here for the Hawks. Scored early in the 4th period in an 18-yard run right up the middle. And that was against the Aztec starters. 1st and 10, Hawks inside the Assabet 40. McChesney, a flag on the play as McChesney picks up about 8 yards off the right side, but there is a flag on the play. Usually we're a legal procedure call. The legal motion is the call that's going against the Hawks. So that'll cost them 5, bring up a 1st and 15. And the ball will come out to the 44-yard line of Assabet. Clock running with just over 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Hudson holding a commanding 32-14 lead. Both teams going with their second units. John Cunha splits out wide to the far side. Burke with the quick pitch back to McChesney. McChesney head down, breaks a tackle and dives inside the no signal yet. It was who called it. Clock's still running, though, and there's just 4 seconds left, and I don't think there'll be time enough to get off another play. And that's it. The ball game comes to a close with the Hawks looking at a 1st and goal from the 5. Second units out there playing most of the 4th period as the Hawks broke it open in the second half with an 81-yard punt return by Derek Carroll. Followed that after he picked off a pass with a 23-yard run to lead 25-6 after 3. Zunzanika opening the 4th period with an 18-yard run to make it 32-6. And then the second units came out, and the Aztecs were able to put on a 8 points on the board with Dan Winchester on a 38-yard run, and the quarterback Clemens rushed for the 2-point conversion, and the Hawks took the ensuing kickoff and drove it all the way down to the 5 before time ran out. The final, Hudson 32 and Assabet 14. The Hawks moved to 5-2 on the year. Assabet falls to 3-4. Once again, Hudson facing the Algonquin Tomahawks over in Northborough a week from tomorrow. 1:30 game time. Hope you can be there. For Fran Lambert, this is Lou Cesario.